Right, you right, how's it going? Now, I do listen to you lot, I do. Sometimes it takes me a little while to do what you asked me to do, or what I say I'm going to do, but I get there eventually. A few weeks ago, well, probably months ago now, I started doing cold start videos of the Nitro cars, because there's nothing better than hearing an engine start up in the cold. It's a bit of satisfaction there as well if it's you that's doing it. An engine that hasn't been ran for a long time and starting up in the cold is nice as well. And you know, it's just the satisfaction, you know, hearing it, you know, come to life. It's quite nice. And I like to run the engines now and again anyway. I don't use them very often, you know. RC isn't really something that I do very often at all. Nitro cars, they do tend to sit around quite some time, for months and months, before I get around to having a go with them again. So I do like to just put them on the bench, fire them up now and again, just to get the blood flowing, that kind of thing. Particularly in the winter, because sitting around in the winter is worse than sitting around for the rest of the year. A lot of you have been saying, get the Savage SS. I want to see a cold start on the Savage SS. And I've been slowly getting to it. Well, today we're there. It's not cold today. The temperature, the last time I looked on the weather station, was -1 outside. Inside, don't know, probably, well, it's not, you see my breath? I'd say it's probably 4 or 5 degrees in here, something like that. This car's been inside. So it's cold, but not cold, if you know what I mean. It's like being inside a fridge, put it that way. Unless you're outside, and then it's like being in. Well, the freezer's -18, isn't it? It should be -18 in the freezer, so it's not quite that cold yet. Perhaps I could do an extreme one, and I could put the car in the freezer overnight, and then in the morning we'll get it out, fire it up. I know a lot of you are going to go, no, but we can do that. We can see how the servos are going to hold up at -18 degrees. My freezer's actually set to -20 because I thought to myself, why not? It's only another 2 degrees, let's just go down to 20. So it's actually at -20. So we could see if the servos are going to be, what they're going to be like at -20. We could just see if the engine's going to fire up at all. I don't think it will. I think we'll need to heat it up, to be honest. We will need to heat the engine up to get it to actually fire. But nevertheless, it'll still be a fairly cold start. Anyway, let me just sort you lot out, because you're in a bit of a funny position there. And then we'll run this, and yeah, it ain't been ran for, when was the last time? Usually, I only ever run Nitro, or any RC thing, in videos. I never, well, very seldom, get the chance to just go myself and just without anyone, just me, not you lot, just me, and have a go. I just don't. So the last time that ran was the last video you saw of it running. Simple as that. When that would be sometime in the summer. So we'll say 3-4 months, probably a bit more. I don't really know. Anyway, let's reposition you. Alright, that's a bit better for you, hopefully. Hopefully I don't get in the way. We've still got some nitro in the tank there, so we should be alright. We've probably got a little bit of jelly in the lines, but we'll just ignore that. Don't know whether there's going to be any battery power left in the battery, but we'll turn the transmitter on. It sounds a bit weak. Let's turn it over to model select, Techno, S-Works, P10 Alpha, Savage SS, that's what we want. Got plenty. It's got a brand new Savox servo in there that I put in because the old one went a bit dicky. We've still got good steering. There's no servo saver on the steering because it was a bit dicky, wasn't it? So I took it off altogether and put a different horn on it. So really, I need to put a new one on. Anyway, let's open up the throttle. I think this primer bulb works. Yeah, I can see it pushing nitro through. Might have flooded it, but that's good. It's just what we want. Here we go. Let's see what we've got. Might be a little bit dry. Probably got a little bit of jelly in that line. Whoa! There it went. That's got to be the mintiest Savage I've ever had. Happy days. Still got half a tank of nitro in it from God knows when I last ran it. And it went. Once it got fuel through, I reckon there's a little bit of jelly in there in that carb. Once I pushed that through with that primer that still works. Fired on the first pull, didn't it? Took a couple of pulls to get it to go. I also had the transmitter. It's handy on these Futabas. There's probably a lot of other transmitters that do this, but this Futaba I like. I like Futaba stuff, and I like this transmitter. It's not too overly complicated, but it's got a lot of stuff on it that I never ever use, which is perfect. But I've assigned this button. Can you see that? Can you see the throttle? Look at the throttle. And when it's on high idle, as they called it, does that, so you know you got the button pressed in. Now I like that. So if I'm starting it from cold, I need a little bit of throttle. Old days, old times, you had to flip the throttle while you were trying to pull it, which I still do out of just pure habit. I do forget that I've got that set for that. I still do that out of pure habit. I hold the throttle and pull it and blah blah blah. But you don't have to, you know. You can set it at any percentage you want. You could push that button to do full throttle if you want, or half throttle, but I've got it on, I don't know what percentage, but a little bit. Just enough throttle, gives it a bit of revs, so I can press that button and I can hold it like that and it revs it up for me. So I did have that button pressed in, which is why it revved up straight away. But yeah, there we go. Cold start, kind of, on the Savage SS. By the way, in case you were wondering, the engine in it isn't the one that it came with. It came with a 3.5. I put the LRP ZR32 Spec 4 engine in it with a Hong Nor something or another pipe. The biggest pipe I could find, because I wanted this engine to breathe as easily as possible. The more you can get an engine to breathe, the better. Think of an engine like a pump, right? An engine is essentially a pump. Pumps air and fuel through it. So the more air you can get in with a bigger air filter and a bigger carburetor, the better. The more fuel you can get in it, well, with a bigger carburetor, the better. But that, if it's in, what goes in, it's got to come out, isn't it? So it needs to be able to come out. So the bigger the exhaust pipe you can get on it, yeah. Obviously there's a limit to how big, because if the exhaust pipe goes bigger, the manifold and the pipe are bigger than the port, the exhaust port, you're defeating the object, because the port is then the limitation. You need to get the port machine bigger. That's what we call it, porting, or yeah, port and polishing, polish stuff, but polish anything really, and they just port it out. But we're going a bit deep now. But anyway, I wanted that engine to be able to breathe the best possible, and I forget what the number is. It's a Hong Nor. It's like an 8226 or something or another, that pipe is. The biggest pipe I could find. I know I could have gone for a bigger engine. There's a 5.9 out there, obviously, which a lot of the newer Savages and the Savage XL 5.9, for example, come with. It's bigger than a 4. Whatever that is, a 3.2, whatever that is, 4 point something or other. It's bigger than that, obviously. I could have just gone for the 5.9, but the thing is, there's already factory Savages that come with the 5.9, and I didn't want something to be I didn't want it to be as you can buy it. So that's why I decided to go for the LRP ZR32. bit smaller than the 5.9, but it's bigger than the 21, the 25, the 4.6, bigger than all of that. And they're a good engine, you know. Some people say bad things. I've only ever come across good things, and I can only go by what I know and my experience. My experience is that that's a good engine. So yeah, there we go. Happy days. It's got an Answer RC 4-shoe clutch in it with a flywheel. That's about it. There's loads of other stuff on it actually. But there we go. I'll catch you lot on the next one. Take care. Cold starts are supposed to be quite a short and simple video, but I can't help but talk. And sometimes some of you lot like to know a bit of information, don't you? So I'll tell you. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to pack all this up because, well, I've got far better stuff to be doing. I haven't. Well, I have. Probably should be wrapping up Christmas presents and things, you know, because that's quite important. Anyway, cheerio, all the best you lot, love life, take care, I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to comment, and if you wouldn't mind sticking around pressing the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. My goal for 2026 is 20,000 subscribers. I can only reach that with your help. I suppose it's down to me to make good content, really.